Did you ever want to mess with your heating cooling system in your major middle class house? Well, if you did, you can buy one of these Ecobees thermostats. Actually, you can buy any thermostat, but in this case, I had a perfectly good thermostat, but I got this Ecobee for the heck of it. And you know what's great? You get little pictures in the directions. They don't want you to be too, see, like, oh, isn't that nice? So don't worry. Just follow the pictures. And everything will be fine. And actually, it was fine. I already had it installed. I'm just putting the base plate on now. But even for a hardcore handyman like me, it's a little spooky to mess around with these wires. And one thing, actually, to be serious, one thing that annoys me about the thermostat I had previously, the one the house came with, or the one that came with the house, it seemed a little more logical. But the one I bought one, I don't see it where it is now, but it's more of a standard rectangular, and it would turn the auxiliary heat on, which is basically like a big toaster. You know, when it's 60 degrees out, 50 degrees, 40 degrees, 45, and there's no need for that. Well, you can get a real expensive thermostat that has a sensor outdoors that figures out how cold it is outdoors, and then doesn't turn the auxiliary heat on if it's not cold. Of course, I don't know why that's necessary. Just let the heat pump run if it can do it. If it can't do it, then turn auxiliary on. But that's not the way they work, apparently. And it is the thermostat that controls that. So this one, which I should turn it on possibly, but it's just typical electronic screen. It doesn't really matter. But it gets a weather report from the Wi-Fi. So it knows what temperature it is outdoors based on the internet weather report. And then apparently, if I understand it correctly, which I'm not sure if I do, you can set it to use auxiliary when it's below a certain temperature and only use heat pump above a certain temperature. And at first I set it it had a warning. It says, be careful, don't set this too low. I set it for about freezing. And sure enough, the toaster heat was coming on, using a lot of electricity. And so I went ahead and dialed it down, because the old thermostats, it'll turn the heat pump on when it's 20 below zero. Of course, the heat pump won't be able to really do anything, but it goes ahead and turns it on, so I guess that doesn't hurt it. But so I think I've got it set now for about 10 degrees, maybe 15 degrees Fahrenheit. I actually go by centigrade, so I think I'm like 5 below 0 centigrade, something like that. Which is the main thing that annoyed me, like I say, was the toaster heat was coming on, the auxiliary heat, resistance heat was coming on at 60 degrees. That's ridiculous. So this Ecobee does seem to solve that problem. One thing I wasn't sure about was if the power goes off, is it going to lose its memory? And of course I had installed it temporarily, and then I removed it and reinstalled it. So essentially the power went off for it. But it seems to have remembered everything. And there's the weather report right there. It looks a little crooked, even though there's a. It's got a little. It's got a little leveling thing in there. Oh, it's hard to tell. This is all your stuff. I've just got it on heat. You can turn the temperature down at night, but there's no point in that for a heat pump. And one thing it doesn't seem to do is if this little flame means it's in heat mode, it doesn't tell me if it's running the heat pump or the toaster heat, the resistance heat, the expensive emergency heat. But I can kind of tell by how hot the registers are, what kind of temperature air is coming out of the registers. And generally speaking, as I say, apparently it won't run it as long as the weather report says it's above freezing and a little colder than that, the way I've got it set. I can set it. Let me see if I can show you that setting. Installation settings, thresholds, heat, cool, minimum delta. That's your dead zone. Configure staging. Auxiliary heat, here it is. Do not run auxiliary heat when outdoor temperatures above this point, 10. 10, why does it say 10? 10 degrees centigrade, that's wrong. Do not run auxiliary heat when outdoor temperatures above this point. I want it to be about 0. No, I went too far. I'm going too far. Negative 14. See, I set this by a different method before. I'll just cancel it and go back. Auxiliary heat. Do not run. I want to go about negative 5, negative 2. That's centigrade, of course. Okay, negative 6. See, now this is the one. Compressor minimum outdoor. To do not run compressor below this outdoor temperature. So I've got that set for, I'm going to set that for negative 9. Some overlap. Let me do that, negative 6.7. I didn't notice this one before. Do not run auxiliary heat when outboard temperatures above this track. I'm going to go ahead and raise it to negative 5. So that way, there, negative 5. And then this one is negative 6.7. So it should be all right. Be all right. The auxiliary heat maximum should be at least 3 degrees higher than the compressor minimum protection. The outdoor auxiliary maximum should be at least 3 degrees higher than the compressor minimum protection temperature. I'm going to lower this one. Negative 10. So it said that was okay. See, now that's the kind of thing I'm really not positive, but I think it's right.